Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Tarot by Cecelia on Patreon. This is your monthly tarot guidance for your sign for the month of October 2016. And what a month it is. We've talked about October for quite some time. All right. Now, let's get into this month and see what's going on. On the 6th, which I'm sure you're happy to hear, Mercury leaves shadow. This gives you the all systems go for many things, okay? You currently have Mars in Capricorn, which is going to be wonderful for you after all these many months of struggling with it being retrograde in your sign and Sagittarius as well. So this is definitely a month of moving forward for you. On the 7th, Mercury enters Libra. On the 16th, there's a full moon in Aries. On the 18th, Venus enters Sagittarius. I'm not sure how much serious Scorpios will appreciate that. Anyway, on the 22nd, it's your time to shine. The sun will move into your sign. And on the 24th, Mercury will as well. Okay? I think it's really time to get down to the nitty-gritty. Have some serious conversations and seek out the truth in all matters with your little detective vibe that you have going on there. And on the 30th, there's a new moon in Scorpio as well. So, as you can see, this month looks to be pretty interesting for you. While some may find it too intense, you're going to enjoy the intensity that it brings. So let's look at these cards. Because like I said, entering the month, you now have Mars in Capricorn. Things are finally starting to move for you. Oh my goodness. They have to. I mean, at some point they'd break loose and things would start moving, but oh my word. And I also think, as the month begins, somewhere in here, maybe within like the first few days, it's possible to hear from someone you haven't heard from in a while. I don't know how that communication comes in, but it just feels that way. All right? Don't go hoping and wishing that it's anyone particular. It just feels that there's information that's coming your way. And I think it will serve you well later on down the line. So it might not amount to anything right as it's coming in. I don't know why I want to say that, but I feel that way. Because there's been some struggles around the whole thing. I think mostly the struggles, I think they're on both sides. All right? But you're like ready now to continue on. Like pick it all back up again and go moving forward. I totally get this because there's been months and months where as a Scorpio and even with Aries rising, with the whole Mars thing going on, that I was like, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm just not getting anywhere. And I'm working and working and working. So finally, I think, your patience, it starts to serve you well where things are, I don't want to say paying off, but you realize, okay, I've got this, I can do it now, and it's going to work. So, getting away with something, it's not in that sense of the word, all right? It's not like you did something shady that you're getting away with. It's more like where you made it, like I got out of there, that kind of thing. And I think it's the whole vibe that's been going on for the first 9 months of the year. So you're starting to feel, I think, a more emotional fulfillment, where you're not one to view the cup as empty ever, but you have this deep emotional side to you. All right. Those still waters run deep type of thing. And, it's just there. It's like it wants to come to the surface. There's something happening here. And it feels very solid for you. For some of you, it may come around your job. It could come around something else where it brings in better finances. But it's most definitely a reason to celebrate. It's like finally something is being manifested. It's been a long time coming. It feels that way. because you've just been trudging along here. And then finally it happens. Now, what's interesting here is that it's not so much a should I stay or should I go situation for you, as it is like, all right, I need to make a choice time. That type of thing. All right, so what do you want to do? Because you're not one, while you're very generous, very generous and kind, there are certain things that you don't like to let go of, you like to keep with you. So there needs to be a freedom from certain situations. This sounds complicated. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be as complicated as it is, but sometimes when things go on for a while, they can become complicated. That's the best way to put it. So these situations, I think you're finally finding your way to where you need to be. Now, in regard to yourself and another individual, I think there are some positive things that can happen. If it's felt, I always use the word battle, because a lot of times, even if there's no fighting involved, that's how you feel. It's like you're in a battle with someone because you're not on the same page. You're not seeing eye to eye. I think that there are some perspectives that are shifting this month. Let's not all get our hopes up. But boy, wouldn't that be nice to see something change. All right? Now we have to remember, Jupiter's in Libra. There's a lot that's taking place with relationships. And with relationships come choices. So it's possible to see something where I want to call it like a recovery mode, but it's not recovery mode. It's definitely more lighthearted and giving thanks for things. I almost think that it takes a little bit of time, though. Whatever begins this month with any particular relationship, it could be family, it could be love life, it could be anything, it could be a friend. But whatever it is, I think it needs a little bit of time, like closer to Thanksgiving, which in the U.S. is like the third Thursday in November. All right. That's like one of those next key times I keep thinking of that's coming up, that we're going to see some things that are much more positive by then. So where some very big changes are coming, they're not those earth-shattering changes. They're the type that leave you feeling more carefree. When a lot of people don't realize this, but as a Scorpio, your outer persona that people see, you're a rock, okay? But even rocks wear down, crack, you know what I'm saying? And they have their moments. But you are definitely rising up this month, all right? And I get the feeling that this starts. For some reason, I feel like the turning point, you've heard me say for a long time, October the 8th, October the 8th, October the 8th. That whole getting away from, all, not just Mercury retrograde, having had 3 of them already this year, but 2 sets of eclipses. The Saturn retrograde, the Pluto retrograde, the Mars retrograde. Goodness. 2 of your rulers, okay, that made it a very rough year. So add all the other ones in as well. And, I think you've barely been treading water sometimes. But does the rest of the world see it? No. You are definitely one of those ones who's like, never let them see you sweat. So something's happening around the 10th, which is what I'm really feeling strongly about. Doesn't have to be that day. There's something that you're doing away with, that you're eliminating. This allows you to reconstruct your life, like to form a whole new blueprint. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be your home, it could be a business, it could be anything. But what it is it gives you a whole new focus. one that has clarity, one that allows you to move on. This is good. This is very, very good. Because I don't think you thought you would get to this point. So you are coming up to a very special place. Because for you as a Scorpio, this is going back to, what, 2012? Pluto-Uranus squares. Saturn in Scorpio. It went on into Sagittarius. It went back into Scorpio. It's like, why does it keep, different planets keep doing that to you? You're like, oh, I get a break. And then back again. This happens to you so much in recent years that you're like, when is it my turn? This is it. It's what's coming now. You're starting this new phase. And I think it's leading you to a really wonderful place. As Scorpios, you'll all arrive at different times, okay? You've had a lot of good things happen already over the coming year. I'll give you that. It's not like you're not one to sit around and let grass grow under your feet. That isn't happening. Not if you're a true Scorpio. So, even with all the changes that you've made, there's just been this like, oh, all along. Like, come on. I'm not being allowed to be who I am. Let me be me. Let me go forth and shine and show the world. I'm not naming any names, but I want to say that the most famous Scorpio out there is going to break out in a very good way by the time that second week of the month rolls around. And, I have a feeling, what was it? Helen Reddy, I think. Old Helen Reddy song. I wouldn't be surprised if people are playing it. So it's going to be an extremely interesting month. But it's that thing. It's like your time has come. Now, this year, Jupiter is not in your sign yet. It's in Libra. So it's really kind of in your 12th house of privacy. That doesn't mean that you're sitting home doing nothing. Oh no, not a Scorpio. You are working on what it is that you want to do. See, your mind is never idle. It's not just that you're a survivor. This is your time that's coming up. It really is. So with this year, you have all of this time to put so much together because you're going to, even though you're already on the scene, you're going to burst onto the scene when Jupiter hits your sign next October. All right? Keep that in mind. So this year, like I want to say from October 10th forward, you're just building. You might encounter an occasional, little setback. But I think at this point, after everything else you've been through for recent years, you're just going to be like, get out of my way. You know what I'm saying? It's going to keep on going. Because you're one of those people, it's like, if I can't get in the front door, how do I get in the back door? You're finding your way in. You're going to do the job. You're not one of those people who's limited by, your own mind. I want to say your mind is limitless, really. And this year, you're going to work on, gathering your forces, your defenses, your everything, your tribe. Get everybody together, okay? I think that this is funny when I say this. Some people will laugh at this, but, people will really start listening to you, I think. Paying closer attention to what it is that you have to say. And, as I think of different Scorpios, I'm like, yes, I certainly hope so. A lot of this has to do with, I want to bring up Mother Nature, all right, to digress a little bit. Okay, there are a number of famous Scorpios I could bring up that I'm not going to mention for various reasons, but Leonardo DiCaprio, big humanitarian, engaged in projects to protect the planet. I think that, he's going to work on all of this. I know this is supposed to be personal for you, but apply it to your personal level and what it is that you want to do. These things are just going to grow. That's what I'm feeling, is that over the coming year, they grow. Not only do you take back the reins of your life and say, I want my life to be fair. I want this done. I want this over. I want this out of here. I want to clear the whole path. I mean, there is just, the feeling that I get is that you hit a certain point and you're like, mm-mm. It's kind of like, when you're watching one of those, not necessarily an action movie, but a movie where the hero seems to be going along and you're in the audience going, come on, go do this, go do this. And they haven't done it. And you're like, why? This is that moment. All right. This is the moment where you stand up and you're like, no, I'm going forward. You can't stop me. This is happening. And it just goes. It just goes. Where like you are moving along for your wishes, your hopes and dreams. Wow, this is fantastic. Oh my goodness. You see so many of the delays around you, starting with the new moon that was at the end of September on the on the 30th, the new moon in Libra. It's like the delays just sort of dissipated around you because you've been being held back for, I mean, I just named all those things that go back to 2012. It's not your style. This is your style. You're coming into your time, okay? Yeah, you got lots of ideas. You've got lots of things you want to do. Like I said, your mind is not limited. You are not one of those people. So trying to hold you back, you have too much that you need to share with others, too much that you need to do. And the wonderful thing about it is that, your head is not in the clouds. You still remain very compassionate toward other individuals. That's why I brought up Leonardo DiCaprio. Really a very down-to-earth guy, okay? Very concerned with the planet and that type of thing. So what is it that you want to do? There's something that you want to do, and I'm telling you, it's like this year you're finding your niche because it's taking you, I really feel, from that October 10th time frame, give or take a day or two. It's taking you forward to Jupiter in Scorpio next October. This is your year to put it all together. And I don't think, like, right now, I can't say there's nothing to stop you, because I don't see that here. I don't see you, like, steamrolling your way through. But I think that you're able to handle every single thing that comes along. You no longer have all of the roadblocks that you've had since 2012. I'm finding this, like, phenomenal. All right? It really, truly is. So, yes, you can break out. You can reach your goals. What's interesting regarding your goals is that in all of these years, they have changed. They're not even remotely the same as what they were before. So I think you have a whole new set of them, and you're ready to go forward. You're ready to take on anything and everything that gets in your way, and not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. There is no harm meant toward another individual at all. It's just your time, which, a lot of people may tend to disagree with me because of the house where Jupiter is. But let me tell you, this is a momentum that you're building toward next October. And you're just going to do it. You are just going to do it. I'm looking at this and I am so in awe. And, choices and the things that you're moving on from. Let me see. When's the full moon? It's on the 16th. Yeah. Okay. So if we have things happening around the 10th, you're able to move on from a particular situation around the full moon this month. I'm liking that a lot for you. I really, truly am. And that puts you off to where you need to be. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Scorpio, I wish you the best of luck. It's been a long time coming. It's well deserved. I want to thank you very much for listening. And I've noticed that this is the most listened to, zodiac sign that I do on Patreon. So I must have a lot of Scorpios out there, which is wonderful. So take care, and I'll see you again next month.